So, diploma in nutritional therapy, functional medicine, certified professional, Blanka Campbell, nutrition and well-being.
Yes.
Hello, how are
Hello.
you?
Good.
How did you end up in health and wellness? We all have a story. What's yours?
Yeah, so I was like everybody else and like you having a normal corporate job because this is what we do after the university. And whether or not we like the job, we mostly do it because of money, right? Because we have to do something. And so I was here in Basel working in one pharma company and I had two small kids. And I was like at that time, superwoman, thinking that I can do it all, like juggling 100% kids, which is never 100%, it's even a little bit more. And then the full-time job, and then life happens. And one day, like I think I was getting close to burnout. And then my daughter was sick. She had a scarlet fever. She ended up in hospital, 2 months on antibiotics. And I was, first of all, I felt lost because when you are in hospital and they bring blood test results and they are telling you something, and I didn't even know when they were saying, oh, her lungs are not working and the filtration rate of kidneys is falling and her liver enzymes are high and she has a high CRP. And I was like, I don't even know what that means. I don't even know where is liver and what is the function of organ liver. I didn't know because I studied languages and literature. I was in completely different field. And I was thinking I never want to be a victim of the system, not being able to understand it and make a informed decision about my kids and me. But that was the first step. Sometimes you need to collect kind of the drops into the cup until it spills and you say no more. So it was like one of the drops. And then I had gastrointestinal issues like bloating almost all my life. Not all my life, actually, from maybe like the age of 22 when I started studying at the university, being under the stress. And, I was thinking that it's food that is causing the bloating. I didn't know that there are underlying issues like stress can have impact. Yeah, so it's the lack of knowledge and many other drops. And then working in this corporate, I felt tired. I had this perioral dermatitis and they gave me corticosteroids. And I didn't know that I'm not supposed to use it in the evening because then it's going to have impact on my sleep. And, there were like so many things that I didn't know. And you can see that it's like repeating. I didn't know. And then I decided that I want to know. I want to know. That was and if I was reading one book, there was a beautiful question that if I didn't have to worry about money, I had like 10 million, whatever, Swiss francs, dollars on my account, which for me is enough money. What would I do? And I had to look at it from every single perspective. Would I stay with the person I am with? Would I do the job that I do? Would I live in the same house? Would I have the same friends? Like, what would I do? And everybody says, oh, I would travel. But after the traveling, after buying the house and everything, all the material things, what would you do? Because you would want to be helpful in this life and you maybe have some hobbies. And what I would also say is that when we become moms and full-time working, we forget about the hobbies that we had, what we like to do in our free time, because suddenly there is no free time. And after 5 years being like full-time mom, you forget what is that you like to do. You do things for kids, you you do everything for other people. And so I had to go back to these basics thinking, oh, what would I do? What is it that I used to like? Yeah, and it was always that I like nutrition, eating, food, healthy food. I used to like it. Yeah. And then you get busy and you forget about all of that. Hmm? And I started also going to the psychotherapist because I was really close to the burnout and I decided that I will not go to office anymore. I will give I will hand over the notice. But so that I don't have to go there for those 2 months, the doctor told me, okay, you would have to go to the psychotherapy. And I was like, okay, I mean, like, I'm not sick, you know, mentally,
Yeah.
but I will go. And it's again this, like, we think that going to the psychotherapy is something bad, but it was actually so helpful because she was giving me like exercises that I didn't know what they mean, like choosing pictures and why would I choose
Yeah.
pictures, or some objects, or you know, if I was to draw my family as animals, what animals they would be, where would they stand, what would they mean? If I was a flower, which flower would I be, and why? So interesting. And I
Wow.
uncovered so many things about me that I didn't know. The limiting beliefs, why I
Yeah.
was behaving the way I was behaving. And this gave me the opportunity to like change my life. So if I want to change my life, what do I need to take? And because I'm Aries, we do everything quickly. So once you make a decision, that's very,
Mhm.
very quick. And so I quit the job. I enrolled to the nutritional therapy, but I didn't know that if you want to study nutritional therapy, you must have a leaving examination from chemistry, biology, mathematics, you know, so many
Right.
things. So before doing this, I basically had to do the A levels in UK. So
Wow.
1 year I spent like preparing for the A levels, then I passed the A levels, and then I could study nutritional therapy. And I loved it because I was learning not only about food, but how our body works. And that was the most important for me because influencers will tell you, oh, eat lots of protein. But is it really that everybody should be eating lots of
Yeah.
protein? Even people that have kidney disease? Ah,
Mm-hmm.
probably not. Or if somebody is a vegan, like, is it
Mm-hmm.
enough to eat chickpeas? Ah, probably
Mm-hmm.
not. And so I was like learning, if you get, for example, IV infusion because you have low iron, is it really that you had low iron, or was it the ferritin storage?
Yeah.
And is the ferritin storage low because you have some pathogens in your body and your liver is trying to protect you, and therefore it is not allowing to absorb the iron? And then by doing the IV of the iron, do you make the things worse because you are feeding the pathogens? And so many aha moments that I was like, okay, this is what I want to know. This is what I want to understand for myself,
Yeah.
and then hopefully build a business. So nutritional therapy was the starting point for me. Functional medicine came a little bit later. Yeah, but it's basically it completed what I wanted. I understand fully what I should eat, why I should do it, and I can apply it to my family and then build a business from this point as well, which is not easy, of course.
No. I love the comparison with because I did listen to another podcast and you talked about that you studied languages. So I love the comparison how this being in the hospital and hearing these blood values and it's like a foreign language that you don't understand, that I need to learn this language, and then this feeling of helplessness, especially as a mother, like yeah, I need to understand that this, and become on top of that, and that being the power and the force of driving you forward, even through chemistry, biology, mathematics lessons. So it really talks about this, like really like a strong drive. And you mentioned also the fast, and that was like one of the, because that's how I see you, someone who, moves fast, works fast. What do you think that comes from?
Yeah, well, it can also come from like the how people viewed you as a child. So I would say, and I heard there was like a billionaire, it was really nice. He was saying, if you want to succeed, you must have a PhD. And
Mm,
everybody tells you you don't need a PhD. And he said, but
yeah,
do you know what PhD stands for? Poor, hungry, and determined. And these are the three things that you must have if you want to succeed. And so, poor, well, I
hmm,
come actually from like Czechoslovakia. So let's say
hmm,
it was a poor country.
yeah,
And we had to be really resourceful because we didn't have
yeah,
resources. Like we didn't have money, we didn't have
yeah,
things in the shop. You have to learn how to make things that you find and how to survive. Yeah, so
yeah,
it's all about
yeah,
survival.
yeah,
So I can like tick the box in the poor, coming from the poor country, and then there is this hunger. You want to succeed. Because I also experienced, so as this poor girl from Czechoslovakia, going to Italy, working as an au pair, and everybody was viewing me like something less. But I knew I wasn't less. I was exactly the same human being. And I was thinking, aha, so in order that people don't like view me as less, like a Czech that marries somebody who will like bring her up and pay her bills. No, you don't need anybody to save you financially. You need somebody who will be your mentor and maybe support you and help you with studies, because you have, or we have, all this hunger to succeed. We don't want to use anybody else's money. So the hunger came from there. I don't want to be seen as a zero, as nobody, because I am good. And even when I was working in a corporate in Basel, still I was seen as nobody, because I was just admin, I was just admin. And then you had there some like managers or CEOs. They were not any better than me, but they were either sitting in the position for long enough, or they came from the US, which was viewed as a better country, and their parents were able to pay for better university. So they had a easier start, and that's why they were there. But all the other Polish, Czech, Slovaks, whatever, Romanians, we were not any worse than that person. Yeah. So I had this hunger to work so hard that I am never ever going to be viewed like somebody less. I'm just going to be like on the top, but treating all the people exactly as I am. And that's the most important for me. So we have poor, hungry, and then determined. Like, so the determination, you cannot succeed in anything with what you do without determination. And you never ask yourself if you want to do it. Did I want to do like chemistry? Definitely not. Did I want to study every evening, every weekend, give it all my money? Not really. I would prefer to do something else. But I had this goal in mind, and I had actually nowhere else to go because I quit the job.
Right.
I started studying. I invested the money into it already. I prepaid it. So there was no way back. And even like the first year, second year, third year, I had so enough. And I was thinking, I'm just going to quit. And I was like, I cannot quit. I already paid so much for that there is no way back to corporate. I just cannot go back. So it's like when they say like burn the boats, and take over the island. There is no way back. You just have to keep going. Yeah. So the determination, these three. So PhD, I have a PhD. This PhD.
Oh, I love that PhD. Yes. And it's amazing how from very young on, how you say that we're all the same. Like all these statuses or where you come from that you learned, you very clearly saw that like you don't understand, but I understand. We are the same. You may be acting differently, but we are the same human beings.
Yeah.
You mentioned that already. You said something of building the business. So it's a demanding field. We both agree. And you're also a mother.
Yeah.
So what does it look like building a business? What's maybe a typical day at the moment, or when you started? Is there something you want to share about that?
So for me, my kids were always number one priority.
Right.
It was never the job. So if they would need something from me, I would even like cancel consultations. But then I would, of course, I would cancel the consultation because I had to take my kids to hospital or something. But then I would like give maybe 2 consultations to the person. So I always made sure that they are going to be so satisfied.
Right.
It's this like under promise, over deliver, like always over delivery, that nobody could ever complain that they did not get enough. They were always like, wow, always, always, always. But this is what we do on our own expense. So you need to invest extra, especially at the start. When you start a business and you don't have like too many 5-star reviews, you basically have to over deliver. Like you become their personal nutritionist, personal, it's total over deliver. And that's why I would say to everybody, when you are choosing a person who to work with, go to somebody who is starting, because you will get the best out of them, the best, because they will be over delivering. If somebody gets to me now, I mean, I still over deliver, but definitely not the way. And
Right.
now you pay like, I don't know, so many times more.
Yes.
So my over delivery is already calculated in the
Yeah.
package. Yeah, so
Yeah.
then I will do it. But before I was charging, I don't know, 85 euro per
Yeah.
session. But I drove to someone's house, stayed there for 2 or 3 hours with them, drove home, that sent them things after. So basically I spent the whole day for 80 euro, whole day.
Yeah.
Now I wouldn't spend even 30 minutes talking to somebody, just 30 minutes
Yeah.
talking for like 80.
Yeah.
It's completely different. But I was so passionate about it and I loved sharing, what I have learned. And that's what people felt like I wasn't doing it for money. And this is the most important. I'm here to learn, not to earn. And then the earning comes. It comes with
Right.
it. Then you can
Yeah.
say whatever price you want, but the reputation that you have, that you helped so many people, then nobody's looking how much it costs. They just know that you will deliver as you deliver to their friends and all of that. But it's not easy. Like I literally, like I also got divorced at the same time, right? Because when I make changes, I make all changes. And I really didn't have money, like really not. And I
Right.
could not at that time like do, because I didn't have enough clients. So I was like teaching yoga. And for example, only 2 people came and I made like 12 euro. But I
Yeah.
cycled 45 minutes, teaching like 60 minutes yoga, cycling back. So 3 hours of my time because of 12 euro. And from these 12 euro, I had to buy food for my kids. They were coming home for lunch, not at school, home. And until now, actually, they come home. Everywhere we were going by bike. Like I just lived on maybe like 50 euro per week to pay everything, accommodation, food, everything to fulfill my dream. So I gave it all. That's the determination.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, of course, like I didn't have money to build my website, have copywriters, all this. I learned everything myself. And
Yeah.
actually, until today, I still do it myself. Sometimes, I will like hire somebody, but tell them
Yeah.
how to do it. I can control everything.
Yeah.
Like now I'm using AI for everything, building.
Yeah.
I learn so much and I dedicate every minute of my life to work and building business. Because we are 8 hours in the bedroom and then 16 hours. And for me, 16 hours is every single day, including weekends. Those 16 hours are dedicated to my business. Like it's my dream, it's my passion,
Yeah.
it's my everything. When I read books, it's for business. When I like study or make something in languages, it's for the business. When like if I talk to people, I have like peer reviews, business. Everything is business,
Yeah.
either marketing, copywriting, nutrition, functional medicine, blood test interpretation, books about
Yeah.
menopause. Everything is business, everything. And all my friends either have their business, so like always, always, always business. So then work-life balance, there is no work-life balance, the
Mm.
business. Yeah. So if somebody thinks like, oh, I will, do a little bit here, a little bit there, I don't think you can succeed doing it like that. Every single entrepreneur who is around me and is successful gave it all. It
Yeah.
became their life. They were so hungry to make it work. And then they hire people and people do it for them, but they're still in the business.
Yeah.
So,
No, you're 100% right. It takes a lot of gut, time, determination, work.
yeah.
Um, so a passionate mother with this really strong drive and force to move forward. And so functional medicine, you're the only functional medicine practitioner in
In Switzerland,
Switzerland?
yes. And there is like a difference. People will call themselves functional medicine. Everybody is using this word
Yes.
functional medicine. But you can buy this, apply functional medicine in practice. Do you know what? Every single module in functional medicine, you don't have to do anything for that. You pay. So it's 2,700. It's all about money. So you pay, 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 pay. And when you purchase them all, which is very expensive, then comes the part. Because if you really want to be a certified functional medicine practitioner. That's
Yeah.
why you actually pay it, because otherwise the knowledge that you learn in the modules, you can learn anywhere else. Even the nutrition that I studied, so the lecturers were functional medicine practitioners. So of course they take the functional medicine knowledge and they teach you this in nutrition.
Yeah.
So every nutritionist is already very capable of practicing functional medicine. But this title of certified functional medicine practitioner, it's what gets you to the next level. Yeah? And so while I was studying it, like for 3 years, basically it meant I was just paying for it. I listened to it when I was like cooking, but there are no exams. You don't have to do anything. And if there's one short quiz that you have to complete, 10
Right.
questions, super easy. But the last exam to become the functional medicine practitioner is really hard. Like really, really, really hard. Hard for all the doctors, every nutritionist. And I actually make so many people fail and they have to take it 3 times and then they give up. So it's then it was that I had to really memorize everything. So from those years where I didn't have to do much, then you have 200 questions and you have 4 hours for it. And it's actually 200 clinical studies. And the problem was that it's made for doctors. So they were using like medical terms that I've never heard because I did not study medicine. Yeah. And they tell you, oh, you have a patient who comes and complains about red dots on their legs, and they mention to you that in past few months they have been sick. They use this medication. I mean, like it's for doctors, yeah. And if you calculate, you have maybe like 1 minute to answer the question, and you have to say, they, for example, ask like, which test would help you to identify the root cause? Boom. You don't even know what it means, and then you have to answer it, right? Or anything about hormones, because like with hormones we have this steroidogenic pathway, and it has like enzymes in between that, long names, all of that. And like they ask you, again, like I didn't like this question, but they say, look, this woman has this disease. Which hormone replacement therapy would you prescribe for her? Well, first of all, I wouldn't prescribe anything because I'm still a nutritionist, but you have to answer it. Like, what would that be? Like, would that be like testosterone, estrogen with progesterone, or is it going to be just like progesterone on its own, for example? Yeah.
Yeah.
And you have to like answer it based on the case study that they give you. So it's really, really, really complicated. And I had a studying buddy, and we were preparing like together for it. And the last 2 weeks, everybody in the group, they were not even going to sleep. So they were listening to the lectures while in bed, for example, from like 12 to 4, listening to lectures, waking up at 4 o'clock in the morning, from 4 o'clock, studying, for example, until 12. Nobody was working in that time. Like we were all studying, memorizing everything for the exam for 2 weeks, like non-stop. And then I was saying I have no life because there was no life. There was not even the 8 hours in the bedroom. It was just listening to it. Like when you sleep, your subconscious mind is constantly, because when somebody woke you up at night, you had to be able to answer it. And because it was timed, like you didn't have much time to think about it. Yeah. So 200 questions, 4 hours, like non-stop. You couldn't even, like you could take a break, but you lose your time, which you don't want to lose. Yeah. So you don't eat, you don't drink, like you sit there, 200 questions. And then when you finish it, you don't even know if you passed it or not. And you are waiting for 2 months, or 1.5 months, 6 weeks, you wait for results, not knowing. Yeah. And you are just thinking, if I don't pass, would I go through this again? Majority of people said that they wouldn't. Even I wouldn't. Yeah, I wouldn't do it again. So I'm happy that I have it. It's really, really, really tough exam. And
Brava.
that's what makes you a functional medicine practitioner. That the only paper that will, because it proves that you had to prepare for it like so much.
So let's clear that, because the terms, if you're in the field, you see these terms. So AFMCP,
Yeah, it's
applying
nothing.
functional
You just
medicine
paid 2,500 for one
in
course.
clinical practice.
Nothing.
That's just
Nothing.
adult type learning where you do it on your own time. Nobody's really checking your, you have the
Absolutely.
materials.
It's just like you
And
read a
then,
book. Yeah.
right. And then you take this
6 other
4 hour,
modules.
okay, extra modules, and you take a 4 hour exam with 200 clinical studies.
Yeah.
And
And you have
then,
4 hours for it, yes.
and you pass it and you become, what's your title?
Um,
The functional
certified
medicine,
functional medicine practitioner.
right.
Yeah. And at that time when I was doing it, we also had to do a clinical case study, which was 40 pages about one client with all the tests and everything that was written. And it took me maybe 4 months to write because it was really, really tough. You had to like explain, but they dropped this because people did not pass it. So they dropped it. Now it's actually only the exam. So I was the last one to go through this. And yeah, so now it's maybe going to be a little bit easier because they also like changed a little bit the structure that they want
Okay.
that other people do this test with them. But what they also changed before, you could keep this title for 10 years and then you had to
Uh-huh.
do the exam again. Now they changed it to 6 years. So in 6 years, I will have to do exactly the same again and then again and then again. Yeah. But it's all about money, so.
I love this insight for the exam. And clearly you studied well because you still remember these by heart. But that's an immense undertaking. Did you not once think, and you mentioned also that your peers were a lot of doctors. Were there other nutritional therapists? Or were you,
Yeah, so mostly it's doctors, but there are also some like nutritional therapists. I was preparing for this exam like in a group of people. And
Mhm.
what made me keep going is that
Yeah,
everybody was saying how hard it is. If it was only me, I
right.
would think,
Yeah,
it's probably not for me. I'm not as good as them. Um, but everyone found it like so
yeah,
hard. And what kept us going that we were saying, we are in it together. We paid for
yeah,
it because you pay for everything, right?
yeah.
We paid even for like extra group for a preparation that was supposed to
Okay.
make it a little bit easier for us, which on one side, yes, but on the
Yeah.
other hand, not really that you would like need it because we're just hoping it will get a little bit easier. It didn't. Everybody was thinking like, why am I going through this? Why am I doing this to myself? Everything that we teach to our clients not to do, we were doing in this time of preparing. So we did not sleep. We did not like
Yes.
everything. It was just so damaging for the body. We were taking pills to, make the brain
Yeah.
work harder, to remember, not to sleep, to have energy. Like everything. We were just
Yeah.
even like sharing who is taking what so that we survive it. And then, of course, I
Isn't
could
that
not work, did
ironic?
not make any money. Then, when I stopped, I had to like catch up so that I can pay my bills because I'm a single mom. So if
Yes.
I don't work, don't have any money, my kids, my dogs, my like everything,
Hmm.
like house, you have to pay so many things. But it feels good to have it.
Of
So,
course. Congratulations. I'm so impressed, and you know that. How has this experience changed the way you work?
mhm. And that's a good question because I was also like questioning it if I was just, and I also want to
Mm.
say like nutritional therapy, like studying is also hard. And the
Yes.
exams are also very
Yes.
intense. Yeah. So just to say that uh,
Hmm.
you have to choose a good school, have a like good degree, and actually only with this degree you can then study nutritional you can study at
Yeah.
the Institute for Functional Medicine. Like if you just have something that's basic, they're not going to accept it.
Right.
So really, like
Yeah.
if somebody wants to start, oh, I'm into nutrition, choose in UK there is BANT, and they have only
Yes.
8 schools that are
Yeah.
recognized by the system. And so choose one
Yeah.
of these 8 schools, nothing
Yeah.
else. Even if you pay more, the quality is so good that prepared me for all of this. Yeah. So nutritional therapy is hard as well. And I was like questioning, do I practice in any like different way? Do you know what I would
Hmm.
say that is different? So functional medicine, even though they are giving you all the mechanism and there is more of the medicine than you have in nutritional therapy, the core in functional medicine is mental, emotional, and spiritual. And after all the long lecture that you have and everything that you have to like memorize, the core will be always that if the person is not following their heart, their soul, their mission, the soul is in conflict with the body is going to suffer and it's going to show some disease. So, people try to put a plaster. That's, the traditional medicine is match the pill to ill. Aha, you have dermatitis. Let's put there something. Aha, you have like low iron. Let's put there the infusion. Oh, you are losing the hair. Let's grow biotin. It's like, but this is not the way. You really have to go deeper. So in functional medicine, they say that conventional medicine is like downstream. It's going to catch the people that need quickly help, the plasters, the pain, the immediate pain that sometimes, yes, it's great to get. But then if you want to find out why the people are jumping into the water and swimming somewhere down, like, suffocating, you have to go upstream and you have to find out what's driving them to get to the stage where they are. And there comes coaching with you.
Yes.
Where is the psychology? The psychology, like why the psyche is suffering. Why do you not follow your dream? Why do you believe you need to be in a corporate making money, making yourself sick? And then you are saving the money so that you pay it to doctors later on.
Yeah.
Why? Why do you have a fear that if we quit the job that is comfortable, that we would suffer? I think that again, when you are hungry to make a change in the world, that's like you really go there, that you want to save the people, then the universe will be on your side. Yeah. And then you cannot really get sick. I mean, can you get sick? Can a functional medicine practitioner, nutritionist get sick? Yeah, of course, yes. By overworking, yes, by stressing about things, of course, like everybody. But stress, yeah. So functional medicine, basically, to answer your question, like if it made me think differently, it was always going to the root cause, which functional medicine is all about. It's always the root cause, and it's either mental, emotional, or spiritual, or all of them. And then when you shine the light for the client on this part, and they start focusing on that, and of course the other areas, then everything can heal on its own. The body has such a great mechanism. But people come to us very often that they want the quick solution, quick plaster. Quickly lose the weight, quickly have a better sleep. But which supplements, like that everybody wants to know from me, which supplements can I take to have a better sleep, lose weight, feel hungry, grow the muscles? Like, what can I swallow, take from the external environment to change? But the change comes from internal. And that's the hard work that nobody wants to take. It's from you, the resourceful. You have to be resourceful. So what do I have? What's my capability at this moment? Might not be running marathon, but can I go consistently, determined every single day, 10 minutes jogging? That's a good starting. Every single day with no break, no breaks, every single day.
Yes. So a deeper, broader questioning. That's and I love from the matrix, the center of the matrix, the mental, emotional, spiritual. Absolutely. You mentioned coaching because that's how we met. Coaching Advancement Initiative, which was a part of the program I had done, and then the Institute of Functional Medicine. And you actually chose, so you were studying, and then you had the opportunity to choose 5 coaching sessions, and the idea to bring more awareness to these future functional medicine practitioners, that coaching is there. And you went for that. Why did you choose that? Because not everybody does. It's volunteer.
Like everybody else, because it was for free, right? And every time when something is for free, why not? If they told me, hey, you can pay extra $500 for that, I already spent so much money for the studies that most probably I would say like, you know, I paid so much, like I don't need it now. But if it's like for free and I can like experience what it's like coaching through something, then I said like yes, and I think it was like absolutely great. And what it allowed us to create this rapport, because would I, for example, recommend my clients, and you know what, now I'm looking at the clock and it's 1111, it's this angel number. So whatever we talk about now, right, is just
I love
like
that.
what the like angels are saying, that yeah, so it was meant to be. We were
Right.
meant to meet because it's match in heaven when you have, you know, a functional medicine coach and functional medicine practitioner. So the practitioner is going to find the root cause of the problems. Then the people are left like with, so many things I need to change, and I don't believe I can do it. And coaching helps them to uncover why they have the limiting belief that they cannot do it.
Yeah.
And they come up with like, yeah, they maybe learn like, I thought I wanted to lose weight, but actually I don't. Yeah. I don't have the hunger, passion. There is not like a deeper reason why I should lose weight. Because actually, when we had the coaching together, I was like, do you know what? Bikini season and all of that. I would like to lose 2 kilos, and I would like to do like a 3 day intermittent fasting, or like water fast, and not to drink my morning coffee, and
Oh,
not
yes.
this,
I
not to do
remember.
that, like, you know, big ambition of what I would do. And you were like supposed to support me on this way while I'm doing it, elimination diet. That was the
Yes.
plan. Like that's why they like put us together, that we were
True.
supposed to
Yes.
experience
Yes.
intermittent fasting and elimination diet. How does the client feel when we told them to do elimination
Exactly.
diet? And suddenly
Yeah.
you cannot drink your coffee, you cannot eat your bread,
Yeah.
you cannot have milk in your coffee. You
Yeah.
cannot have
Yeah.
soya protein
Yes.
powders. You cannot have eggs. Like everything that I eat daily and I love it, suddenly I couldn't have. So how does it feel? And how, like, what power and structure can you find so that you go through that? Yeah.
Yeah.
And it is challenging, of course. It's very challenging.
Yes.
So did I succeed what I said that I would do? No, I didn't, right? But then we discovered together that I don't
There's something
have
else.
the need to
Yes.
do that.
Yes.
Like it would be nice to try. And every time when something is nice, it would be nice to have Ferrari.
Yeah.
But do I really need a
Yeah.
Ferrari in my garage? And am I willing to do something for that? No. And if the answer is not, I'm not willing to like work extra time, cut this. No. So the answer is no. And the answer for me with elimination diet and like water fast, no, I'm quite healthy. I don't really
Yes.
need to do it. I don't really see any benefit. Yeah, so, you know, working with you helped me also to like apply it or see it with my clients. And then I was sending to you my difficult clients that had many
Yes.
limiting beliefs. And I was also like,
Yes.
oh, I don't have the patience to like
Yeah.
listen to them crying and complaining and all of that.
Yeah.
I will offer to them to speak to Lena, who is good at listening, all these things. And I will just focus on what I can change for them or help them discover, but then hand it over to somebody who will just listen to them. Hmm?
Yes. So it's your own experience. You sort of because the beauty of it is that you always know what's best for you. So you had a first-hand experience in that, and that then led you also that you're one of the few practitioners who actually actively works with coaches, because that's not very common.
Mhm.
Don't see that often.
Yeah, but do you know why? Why it's not common? Because if somebody comes, let's say, to me, and they already pay a package to me, and it's
Yes.
already a lot of money,
Yes.
and then I ask them to pay extra money for coaching. So if you have someone who can afford it, then yes. And I have some clients that can afford it and,
Yeah.
or it goes like through insurance and something, then it's possible. But if I have, for example, a shop assistant, single mom of 2 kids, and she needs my help, and I would ask her to pay for, and you know what, do the psycho coaching and no, you have to evaluate, how much money do they really have? Because then there will be testing,
Yes.
supplements. There is so much more that they will pay on top of what they pay to me that not everyone can afford it. Yeah, but I think it's great to have a coach, but how many people do really invest into coaching? And here we come to money mindset. And I did,
Mm.
because I had many mentors and I spent like
Yes.
basically everything that in past, let's say 7 years I made, everything I reinvested, like everything. Yeah. Nothing, like I end up on zero every single year,
Right.
even with the tax. I actually don't pay any tax because I spent so much money
Right.
on education, business, and all of that.
Yeah.
I just don't pay any tax. Yeah. And even now, my
Yeah.
accountant was saying, "Oh, Blanka, it looks like you would have to pay 500 Swiss francs, which is nothing, like for a year tax." And I was like, "What can we do?" And then I purchased another like program, coaching program or something. Then
Yeah.
it goes to like,
Yeah.
I don't pay
Yeah.
any tax because
Yeah.
that's like invested into me.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I invest hell a lot into education and coaching. And I did. I paid $19,000 for 1 year of mastermind, and I
Right.
didn't have the money at the time. Actually, because I was getting like a child allowance from
Yeah.
Switzerland for past 2 years, which gave me 13,000 Swiss francs, which was quite a lot of money. And I took
Yeah.
these 13,000 and then some money from my savings and I paid it to this coach. So again, like everything that I ever received immediately. And this, it was actually a mentor in the US, helped me like with the business, with business mentor.
Yeah.
Because you don't stop only with functional medicine education. You have to learn how to run the business. How
Yes.
much you can spend, what you do, sales calls, you just have to learn the psychology of selling, but not selling in a salesy way, but making people feel the need that they have to shout like, this is exactly what I need right now.
Yeah.
Because if I
Yeah.
was to like go there and tell them, oh, I think that, if you do the methylation panel and then we will look at the homocysteine and all of that. No,
Yeah.
just cannot. So
Yeah.
you sell them what they want and then you give them what they actually
Yeah.
need. So you are selling them the outcome, the future, the way they are feeling, and that's why they purchase. And that's you still have to give it to them. And then, in your back office, you are interpreting the test, homocysteine, da 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 da, telling them like,
Yeah.
but that's the short way. They don't want to become nutritionist, functional medicine practitioner. They don't want
No. Yeah.
passion that we have for sharing all this amazing
Yeah.
data. They don't want it. They just want to know what they need to do for their issues, and they must see the results. And the success comes when they see the results, when they achieve it, but you were doing it everything for them, like hidden. Yes. So the
Yeah.
extra hours are unseen. That's what I always say to
Yeah.
people. You see that we speak for 45 minutes. You don't see that I was preparing for 5 hours interpreting
Yeah.
your test. I was summarizing it. Then I ordered the tests for you or the supplements for you. I wrote for you breakfast, lunch, dinner, how you are going to use it
Yeah.
so that you can see the results. So it took you 10 minutes to just open the package and take the pill. It took me 10 hours to do it for you based on your results, your family
Yeah.
history, your budget, your everything. So the 10 hours are always hidden. Yeah.
Yes.
That's maybe the difference that in coaching, it's like really coaching here and now, or actually in
Yes.
nutritional therapy, when you speak about food, is also
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
talk about it's quite easy. And functional medicine is not easy. Because even
Yeah.
when somebody is asking you something, you would, for example, ask me now, you would say, Blanka, do you remember when you told me about Siberian ginseng? I'm taking now 200 milligrams. When can I go to 400 milligrams? But I spoke to you, Lina, 3 weeks ago. I had so
Yeah.
many other clients. Do you think
Yeah.
that I remember that you had? I don't. So I have to
Yeah.
go to the file, read everything about you so that I can answer this one question. And you might say, but Blanka, it's easy. I just ask you one question. It takes you 1 minute. No, no,
Mm-hmm.
no, Lena, it doesn't take me 1 minute. It takes me 30 minutes to read everything about you, see what you
Yeah.
do, which other interactions with your medication it has, to give you the answer that you want. And so that's functional medicine. That's why people pay. That's why you
Yes.
pay. You have
It's
the expert.
yeah, personalized, precise,
Totally.
yeah, that you're offering them
Yeah.
to the group of people, or all of us who often want fast, easy solutions, forgetting that it took them probably, a decade or two to get to the point where they're now dealing with the health issues. And yes, the coaching does come into the picture when it's lifestyle changes and they run
Mm-hmm.
into a wall, or and what you have, and I think what would convince most people, because I think coaching is still a little bit in the baby shoes, but you have one or two successful coaching experiences. So you immediately you've understood, because sometimes coaching can be also difficult to explain. What's the difference between, like a nutrition, somebody's talking about nutrition, and a coach. But you have those experiences where you've seen, like, just being listened to, somebody
Mm-hmm.
asking the right questions at the right time, and you've made discoveries that you possibly would not at that time had been able to, make your on your own. All of a sudden, things seem clear. So
Yeah.
that's the beauty of coaching. But yes, there's still a lot of work to be done to get that. And I'm very passionate about having it part of the, the full care team, that there's a coach. But we're not there yet, but maybe hopefully in the future. But you talked about your clients, and I saw, like, if I look at the descriptions, there's like maybe 40 plus women, there's hormonal support. But is there a type of client that you've learned that you're not a match? That, yeah,
Yeah. And then I actually, yeah, this is a good point. So I offer free discovery call to
right.
everybody who wants to buy a package. And because
Mm-hmm.
I'm quite spiritual, um, I tune into it, and my
Right.
intuition usually tells me if we are a good match or not. And sometimes, unfortunately, I
Mm-hmm.
really needed money because I spend, as I told you, like I invest
Mm-hmm.
so much
Mm-hmm.
into education that I had zero on my account and still 200 hungry kids and dogs and all of
Yeah.
that. So I really needed money. And I accepted the client just because I needed the money, even though I knew that they were going to be like difficult. And then
Mm-hmm.
it takes a passion out of my job because I hated every single session with them. Yet I still had to be professional, still there for them, all of that.
What was
The
the friction?
heaviness, usually, they were actually not willing to change, and
Mm.
they were complainers. And they
Mm.
were, in psychology, victims. Yes.
Mm.
So
Okay.
victims are victims of everybody, and they
Mm-hmm.
always blame everyone around them. And so they were like blaming me that they did not lose weight, blaming me that the menu was, I don't know, complicated, even though it wasn't,
Mm-hmm.
blaming me that they, had to take supplements, blaming
Mm-hmm.
me, and finding excuses like, but I cannot stop gluten because that's what we eat in a family, right? It's just like
Mm-hmm.
these limiting beliefs of what you can and what you cannot, but mostly the victim, like they were victims, and everyone around them was wrong. Everyone. And like they just had to suffer because everybody is like stupid, incapable,
Yeah.
and you just knew it's not
Right.
about the people. And then because I'm Aries, I usually told them, which created a very uncomfortable, atmosphere.
Yes.
And then, of course, actually, my mentor was always saying, like, just increase the prices and work only with rich people, because they're never going to blame you that they spend lots of money. Yeah. And that's true, because when people have lots and lots of money, they don't
Right.
care about money. Yeah. And then, they pay you whatever it costs, and then you can do things for them. And usually they're like, they have a mindset also of like entrepreneur. They run their
Yeah.
businesses. They know that things are, not happening overnight.
Mhm.
It's a completely different dynamic. But people who don't have money, then they decide to pay for it, they will almost always tell you how expensive it is. And just imagine me paying so much money for education and all of that,
Mm-hmm.
not having money either, like zero on the account,
Yeah.
listening to them, how they complain. They still have more than me, and they try to like blame everything around. So that was
A
very, very
learning
uncomfortable.
experience.
And some of them, yeah, so I had to like complete the package, or sometimes I just like decided to hand them over, like to you, for example. So I was like, look,
Mm-hmm.
I will, because I was like, from this relationship, I'm anyway going to pay for them. So I paid you to give them extra sessions so that they're satisfied. And I'm leaving the contract, that I gave them the extra, but I would never, ever, ever, ever work with them again. They basically closed the door. And even if they were then sending me message like, but Blanka, I need you. There was no way back. No way back for the behavior. That was the energy that I didn't want to work. I would recommend like other people, not my friends, of course, like, but I would
Yeah.
recommend other people. But I would never, even if they would want to pay me triple. And
Yeah.
this is like, I don't do it because of money. I do it because I love to see the people, because I love to help them, because I think about them even during the weekend when I see something in a shop. I know everything about my clients, and I make them
Yeah.
even WhatsApp messages.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I just remembered like this. Like, I have such a great relationship with my clients. I become their friend. They trust me so much. They tell me everything. I know everything about them, about their families, children, what they do at the weekend. They share with me everything. And that's why they recommend me to friends and friends
Yes.
of the friends. And I can tell you that through friends of the friends, for example, yesterday, one client, a really nice one, clicked, and on internet with like, she paid 3,997 for the package. She just like bought it
Yes.
online. People usually don't do this with me, but she bought it online. And she's a princess, actually, right? She has a title of princess. And she knew about this from her friend who is a baroness. And so, you never get into these circles.
Yes.
Why did she purchase? Because I helped her friend, and
Yes.
her friend was another friend, and another friend was another friend. And they so much trust me that in these very closed, environments where you never,
Mm-hmm.
never, never, ever get, they buy like this because they so much trust that they will be the next one to help.
Yeah.
Yes. And I
Word of
know that
mouth.
I will
Yes.
do absolutely everything that I can. I will become obsessed about helping them on every level: mental, emotional, spiritual, physical,
Yes.
nutritional, whatever they need, I will be there for them. And that's the premium packages, and that's my heart and soul in
Yes.
that business. Yeah.
Yes.
That's what
I
makes
want
me
to be
successful, basically.
mindful of your time because I
Mm-hmm.
see that we're now at an hour mark. So learning experiences that maybe some clients that they didn't need a coach, or the therapist that they needed a referral maybe to, psychotherapy or something else.
Mm-hmm.
But when with the word of mouth, so positive feedback, the right stage of open to change, and the finance is not a scary issue. That's the perfect combination when that client clicks and pays on the spot. It doesn't matter what the price was, because it doesn't have a price, because it's your health after all. So functional medicine is some let's say it's in baby shoes still in Europe, right? And maybe a bit more in North America, but it's trendy. And when you are in the know, you follow certain people. But is there a functional medicine trend at the moment that you think is like overhyped or over the top, or that you say, come on?
Yeah, so I would say, like, as we said, everybody, including me, and I don't know how you, we would love some, magic pill. If somebody told me,
Yes.
hey, there is actually, my client yesterday sent me like some product, and she said
All
that
right.
it like reverses gray hair. And I'm
Oh,
going to
yes.
make her a message today, and I'm going to tell her, look, if there was a product that reverse gray hair, I would be the first person to know about it, and I will be the first person taking it. So
Yes.
maybe there is like a biotin, zinc, selenium combination that
Probably.
might have impact on pigment, but
Hmm.
aging is absolutely normal. And you are going to have, when you are 45 plus, you are going to have gray hair. It's just like, that's
Yes.
it. And you are
Imagine
going to have
that. We
wrinkles,
all,
and you are going to go
everybody.
through menopause, like it's waiting for everybody. There is
Yes.
nothing. And actually, when we talk about menopause, I take hormone replacement therapy, and people
Yeah.
think, I will, use hormone replacement therapy, and it's going to like reverse, like it's going to work the same as the ovaries. No, the 0.05% of the estradiol
Hmm.
once a day on your arm is not going to be the same dose that in a pulsative effect goes from
Yeah.
the ovaries in your reproductive years.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. It might help you to, get rid of hot flushes.
Yeah.
That's it. And everything like claiming that it will, prevent you from osteoporosis. I have osteoporosis. I'm 47 because I invested into test to discover it. And all of my clients after did the test and discovered they have osteoporosis as well. So everybody has osteoporosis, and it's just
Yeah.
not painful. Yeah. So is there like anything from these trends that have been studied for centuries and have amazing impact, then all the billionaires would be using it
Yeah.
and would like reverse aging. So there is nothing, absolutely nothing, that as a single powder or pill can make a difference. What makes a difference is not working as hard as I do. Definitely
Hmm.
like not 16 hours per day. That definitely helps. And I would say the breath work. And I think that you do the breath work, nervous system regulation. That is
Right.
for me
Yes.
the number one anti-aging, and it's for free. And if you practice it multiple times a day, so it's the everything that's for free is basically in functional medicine and everything, the number one that will make you live
Yeah.
here happily until the age of 100 without any
Yeah.
supplements. And it's morning sunlight to your eyes,
Yeah.
right? Activating, all the
Yeah.
neurotransmitters and hormones, moving, exercising
Oh,
every single day,
yeah.
sleeping minimum 7 hours in a dark room, on
Yeah.
your own, all of that. And then eating only when you are genuinely hungry, which means
Yeah.
rumbling stomach. You do this test, broccoli test. Broccoli test is like, oh, I'm so hungry, I'm going to. If you are really hungry, you would eat broccoli so
Oh,
happily.
I love that. I haven't heard that.
Yeah, or even like apple. How many apples are you really
Yeah.
going to
Yeah.
eat? I mean,
Yeah.
not really. Yeah. So like there is
Yeah.
a feeling of appetite, feeling like to have something, and genuine hunger. So eat only when you are genuinely hungry, twice a day maximum, maximum 3 times a day, right? Protein,
Yeah.
vegetable. That's protein, vegetable, protein, vegetable, protein, vegetable. That's it, twice a day.
Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, nervous system regulation. So the breath work all the time, and keeping your head when your feet are. That's what they say. So here and now, here and now, because whatever you obsess about yesterday or what went wrong, that's it. And what the catastrophic scenarios that are going to happen, not even going to happen. Like we always exaggerate. So it's only here and now. What can I do here and now, here and now, here and now, tuning into the body. And basically all these things are for free. And if you like practice them, eating only when you are in a parasympathetic nervous system, rest and digest, you chew the food, you eat only when you are genuinely hungry. Super, super easy.
Beautiful. And I love how, you've given me this high energy and this power and like this determination, and you bring it in the close to this like, don't forget, keep your head over your feet. Where's your breath? The simple things are for
Yeah,
free.
simple,
It's
simple, simple.
beautiful.
And you know what? That's the typical hero's journey. You are uncomfortable somewhere. You
Yes.
go on the journey. You meet there, it's uncomfortable losing weight, doing the study, spending your money, fear and everything. But you find, like in every fairy tale, you find a mentor. You find somebody who says, look, I'm here for you. So I'm for my clients like this mentor. I say, look, if you really, really genuinely need me because you are struggling, phone me, send me a message. I will support you.
Right.
I will tell you like what to do, but the actual process, the pain and discomfort, it's going to be there. And then you achieve what you wanted to achieve. You come back where you were, but transformed. You have your new habits, and you are like, this is my home. This is where I want to be. And for me, it was like quitting the job, going on this journey of education, nutritional therapy, functional
Hmm.
medicine, everything, just to come back home and discovering that
Yeah.
all what I learned in my childhood in Czechoslovakia, drinking herbal tea, taking
Yes.
everything from the garden, you know, being with animals, people, friends, not having money, that you don't really need anything fancy. All
Mm.
you need is doing the basics. And so I
Yes.
do the basics that I was doing all my childhood. That's
Yeah.
what I do. Of course, I have some supplements. Of course, I do.
Yes, of
Yes.
course. Yes.
But it's mostly that I test them. I want to see like, yeah, I use Aura Ring and test if it
Yes.
makes an improvement. Does it make me really sleep better? I use it for 7 nights, then I don't see an improvement, then I just like stop using
Yeah.
it.
Yes.
Or like I do lots of testing because that's what we do
Yeah,
in
because
functional
the
medicine.
curiosity, love of learning.
Yes,
Yes.
but it's not that I would be like obsessed about what my aura said, what my garment said, what
Mm.
no. But I keep it like I try to walk the talk. So if I say to somebody you need to exercise every day, I also try to exercise every day. But it's maybe like 15, 20 minutes, with alo moves, like
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
here
yeah,
in the
yeah,
living
yeah,
room lifting some. I don't go to the gym. I don't do
yeah.
these things, but at home, 20
Yes.
minutes I will do abs, arms, legs,
Yeah.
stretching, yoga, Pilates, whatever, but 20 minutes. Closing my eyes. Do I want to do it? No, 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 no,
Mm.
no.
But you've built a
I
habit of
force
it.
myself. I force
Yeah.
myself. I'm
Yes.
just saying it's just 20 minutes every morning. Yeah.
Blanka, last question. Where is Blanka Campbell nutrition and well-being in 5 years?
In 5 years,
We are there.
millionaire. Millionaire, the most successful. But you know what?
Yes.
With the millions, like taking it back into those people that need it,
Yeah.
right? So for me, the most important will be to stop the suffering of, for example, even young girls with
Yes.
endometriosis that have heavy periods. They don't know what to do. They don't know which food to eat. It's just like teaching people the basics, understanding if you have X, Y, Z, do these tests because everybody can go to the laboratory. Everybody can pay. It doesn't actually cost so much for the basic test, see where you are, and then maybe like do the dietary changes or see if it's genetic or talk to the doctor, teaching people how to speak to the doctor, but even educating doctors so that they,
Yes.
understand. So this is basically my passion, so that people who cannot afford my services, I can give them back. Yeah, so that's important, like for me.
That's a beautiful ending because let's face it, functional medicine is often criticized for its prices and that it's not available for everybody. But, it is unfortunately where we are, where conventional medicine is so good in the acute, emergencies. And hopefully we are building for, that these are widely available and acknowledged
Yeah,
and not thought of as
recognized by
something.
insurance companies as a complementary.
Yes,
And then people can choose, do I
yes,
want to go to the conventional doctor or do I want to go to
yes,
functional medicine? And if we
exactly.
achieve this and people will have a choice, they will most probably choose us, those ones that will spend the time, like listen to them and try to recommend something that worked for centuries, from herbalists and all of that, because
Yeah.
if we like, prevention is better than cure, but it's about
Yes.
educating the people so that they don't end up like me. When I was telling you, I was always saying, but
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know. I didn't know
Mm-hmm.
that my children, I didn't know. And so to end this, I want that everybody knows, and it never happens that they
Yeah.
say, I didn't know that my child has Crohn's disease because nobody
Yeah.
told me. You have to prevent it. You have to catch it before your child starts having any issues. So it's educating the people to tune
Yes.
into the body and make a difference in this world. Yeah.
Beautiful. The passion. Blanka, thank you.
Thank you as well.
I'm going to pause.